Oh my gosh, Whitley, we have made it to episode 8 of Erin Whit.
Episode 8. That's a great number, by the way. My
8?
softball number.
Oh,
8.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently 4 is a nice biblical number, and I like to think, okay, there's just double time.
Yep.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so perfect. No wine in our hands this
Yeah.
time because we are full of some of San Francisco's best food thanks to NBA champion, former Warrior Festus Ezeli.
Incredible day. Can I just say?
Incredible day.
But I am full.
Yes.
If you see me just laid back like this
Yes.
is why.
And
I
just to
can't
give y'all
breathe.
some context, Festus wasn't just like feeding us.
Yeah.
He actually has
Festus Feast.
exactly. He has his own platform called Festus Feast, where he
Mm-hmm.
features a bunch of food here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and he wanted to mash up with Erin Whit. So be on the lookout for that, and he will be sitting his behind in one of these bean bags at some point
Mm-hmm.
here soon for the podcast as well. A little crossover between Erin Whit and Festus Feast. So no wine because we are all liquored up and we are all full of food.
I cannot fit anything else in my stomach right now. Liquid,
No,
anything.
Nothing else can fit. But it was a great day, which is why we're actually more dressed, less casual than we usually are. Less casual than we usually are.
And I would also just like to point out one other thing real quick.
Yes.
I am not a Yankees fan, so I don't want to hear anything in the comments talking about my hat.
Actually,
It's for fashion and the aesthetic.
okay. Actually, ESPN just did a story on how fashionable that hat is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
it's a real thing.
Okay.
Like people in Brazil, they were asking like, "Do you know what this hat means?" And they
Mhm.
were like, "No."
No.
So it is actually a fashion statement
Yeah.
at this point. So you're doing what needs to be done with it, and it looks
Exactly.
dang good on you, girl. Okay.
Thank you.
So, so welcome to episode 8 of Erin Whit. I am Erin,
And I am Whitley.
and we have a lot to talk to you about. Some stuff expected, some stuff not so expected. So obviously, Whitley, let's just give them the rundown. What can they expect on this episode of Erin Whit?
Niners OTAs, minicamp. That's where we were at most of the week. So we're going to touch on that, what we saw at camp. Imposter syndrome and how that affects even the greatest of the great, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And so we're going to tell some stories in our industry and how we have dealt and still deal with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And as we promised you, our crazy tattoo stories, because boy, do we have them. And Mom, I am so sorry. I'm just going to say that. I'm so sorry.
Unfortunately, my mama didn't know where all mine are.
Yeah.
And by the end of the night, you guys will too. And how they got there. So let's just pick up and start with the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Business in the front, party in the back. Let's talk a little bit about the Niners. They have wrapped up their final off-season workout. They did that this week. Pac on
Okay,
10. Pac, you got to sit down now.
Tupac, okay.
I know you
Come on.
like me. I know the
Just
boys
lay down.
usually do like me, but I
Okay,
need you to
lay
take
down. Pac. Get it together. Okay.
There you go. There you go. Get comfortable. There, you
okay.
go. Yeah, Pac. All right. The milkshakes call all the boys to the yard. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, he's
Even
just
the
like
dogs.
looking at me, like posted up on you right now. It's crazy.
I'm so
I
done.
see you.
I'm so done. Okay. So, obviously, the Niners, they wrapped up OTAs. They had their final OTA this Wednesday. You and I were both there for both days, as well as there for rookie minicamp, and
Yeah.
as well as being there for, this week was vet minicamp. OTAs were the week prior, and then rookie minicamp was a little bit earlier. What's your take after seeing the Niners this week?
I thought, and of course, everything, take this with a grain of salt because it is minicamp. They don't have pads on, They can't go full speed per se. I thought the defense looked really good.
They looked
I saw a lot of
amazing.
good things from the defense, and I think a lot of it has to do with the energy Robert Saleh has brought back to
Yes.
this defense, which we'll get into. I thought defense looked great. Offense, day one of minicamp, I will say Purdy, he threw 3 interceptions. Offense has just looked average, but the defenses look great. So then also it's like, oh, maybe it's because the defense is so good. McCaffrey, healthy,
Yes.
looks healthy.
Yeah.
Feels like he's like in a good space mentally. We'll talk about as his response to your question, which was one of the best responses actually I think I've ever seen him give someone.
Wow, Aaron
Because
gets
he's
it
like
out
man
of
a
the
few
boys.
words, but he felt a little bit vulnerable
He
in that
did.
moment.
He when he opened up with full transparency, I was like, talk to me,
Right.
CMC.
Tell me
Talk
more.
to me. I'm leaning in. I'm listening.
Yeah. Bryce Huff. I think Bryce Huff is a huge addition to this Niners defense. And
Huge. Figuratively and literally.
he's fast. He was quick. Like, that's why I was looking at him, even compared to Bosa, which, of course, Bosa I don't think was moving at full speed. But I think he's going to fit right in.
Agreed. I think he's going to be a welcomed addition to that defensive line. I think they need him on that edge. And I think that with what Bryce Huff, and we can just start there. Let's talk a little bit about Bryce, because with what Bryce Huff brings to a defense is just undeniable. Now, last year with the Eagles, he did struggle. He wasn't even able to play in the Super Bowl, of course, because he injured his wrist. That kept him out for a good portion of the end of the season. And he didn't have as big of a year with the Eagles. But the year prior to that, 2023, when he was still with Robert Saleh and the New York Jets, okay, I'm gonna give y'all just a perspective here. In all of his career, I believe he is in year 5. Or this coming year would be year 5, one of the two. He has had 20 sacks in his career. 10 of those came in 2023 with the Jets under Robert Saleh. Every other year was about 2.5 or 3 sacks. But to get 10 sacks in one season with the same defensive coordinator who at the time was your head coach in New York, that is now your defensive coordinator here, obviously it shows that Robert Saleh had a lot to do with them going after Bryce Huff here in the offseason and bringing him in. So obviously there's a lot of belief there. And Robert Saleh wanting him here, seeing what he can do and what he can be for the Niners. So I think he would be amazing. We also kind of learned that there is a chance that Michael Williams, who is also a dog, I'm going to give him that, because great guy seemingly from talking with him just briefly between the draft and sometimes in the offseason. Seems like a great guy. Seems like he's fitting in. Chris Kasarik, the defensive line coach, actually talked about the fact that when he first started, he has great potential, but they were trying to show him like, you're good, but good doesn't cut it. You need to be great. And so they were showing him little things on how to be great while working with him. And they said he caught on really quickly, and you can see that he's continuing to grow within that defense, and he looks good. I do think now that they've brought Bryce Huff in, there is a chance that they will have him inside at tackle some. Now, I'm not sure about that, but it did seem like when we were talking to the guys this week that they did mention that was a possibility for Williams.
Yeah, and I think Huff, they're kind of looking at it as him being opposite of Bosa, is what
that's what
seemed
they were
like.
saying.
Yeah. Trent Williams was at OTAs for what he said the first time in like 10 years. Because, lots of vets, like, they don't go to this offseason stuff a lot. Yeah. So he was there, and I think that shows where this team's at right now, where they need all the leadership in the room. They need everyone there, with the new guys coming in. So Trent Williams was there, so that was a good little surprise. Ayuk, we saw him a little bit. He
out
was
there actually helping with the wide receiver drills.
Yeah, and he was kind of like moving a little bit. You can tell he wants to be back out there on the field, like going full speed. Obviously, he's not to that point. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, I think you're hitting the nail on the head when you talk about Trent Williams being there. And it's funny because he said he did not regret not having to come years prior. He said if he showed up all those years, he probably wouldn't still be playing here in year 16. Totally agree with you, big guy. Stay at home if you can.
Right.
But we need
Get
you
your
here
rest.
now. Yeah. And that's one of the many things that they mentioned, because they were asked, what is the vibe of the team? I know I asked them a bunch of times, what's the vibe? And all of them had really good things to say, even saying that this doesn't really feel like a 6-11 team. Which I asked Diamador Lenore, what does it feel like to have Robert Saleh? Because guys, I'm telling y'all, during OTAs, there were plays being made by their defense.
Oh, defense looks good.
They look
sharp.
Good.
Yeah.
And it's so soon for them to look like that. Now, obviously, Robert Saleh said that you can't really gauge anything without the pads being on and them actually going into some game time action. Specifically saying you can have the benefit of the doubt, but as soon as you go out there and lose a game, our benefit of the doubt goes out the window. And so there's just doubt. But either way, they looked really good in OTAs. And that being said, I asked Diamador Lenore, how does it feel to see Robert Saleh, like, y'all make a play and he out there on the field with y'all? Which, by the way, sidebar, Robert Saleh, I need the skincare regimen.
Drop the skincare routine, because
this man glows.
He already has an aura about him.
But he glows.
Yeah.
I ain't making it up, y'all. I ain't seen a Kardashian with skin like this. Okay? I mean, it is creme de la creme, golden silk. I'm like, sir,
Yep.
what are you using?
It's the smoothest skin. Sorry, I'm not like just always
We're
like,
not fawning over the man.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
your
married
skin.
man. But I need drop the skincare routine. It's summertime, baby. I'm trying to get outside, and I want my
Pop.
skin to be as golden as yours. Okay, as slick as yours. Okay, because it looks like freaking, like I said, silk, not polyester.
But just the energy that he brings to this defense, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
I can't even describe it. Like you can just tell his players play hard for him.
Oh, hard.
And just the energy, like they're just like, even just mini camp, they're out there like yelling anytime they, you know,
Going
like
crazy.
going crazy. But I just think having Robert Saleh back is, I mean, it already looks like we're seeing it in OTAs and stuff, but I think it's going to make a huge difference.
It absolutely has infused a new energy, a new aura, like you said, around them. And that's what I was getting at. Before I started talking about the skincare, Diameter Lenore, I asked him, I was like, how does it feel to have him out there when y'all make a play? He's jumping, he's high-fiving, he's in the middle of the play, in the middle of the field, screaming and cheering like it's a game and y'all just made a play. And he was like, it feels really good because I mean, it just shows when you have your coach out there cheering for you and getting excited when y'all make a play after they've been teaching you this set for a month and you finally execute it, and they're so excited to see you execute it so well. He said it's a feeling that's second to none. Specifically, verbatim is what he said, and I can completely agree to that. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, watching from the sidelines, it looked like their vibe right now is second to none. They look, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you mentioned the offense.
Yeah.
The Brock Purdy did have a few picks out there. Robert Saleh actually endorsed Brock Purdy, saying, wow, you see this guy up close, and he really is good. And so, obviously, they are missing a few pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Ricky Pearsall is out, with the hamstring injury.
Which is concerning.
It is concerning.
A little
but
bit.
he did say that he was actually okay here towards minicamp, but that they didn't want to put him out there out of precaution until training camp. That came from Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Jair Brown, also another person, Yuto Gross-Matos. Jair Brown actually had a cleanup procedure on his ankle, and he looked good. He was actually out there. The first day I saw him in OTAs, he was actually on a scooter with his leg elevated. But when I saw him for a vet minicamp, he was out there walking around.
Yeah.
Also, slight plug, skincare routine. Jair, what the hell are you doing? Like, y'all let your girl know something. Help me out. But not that I need it, but you know what I'm saying.
Have you seen
always room
actually?
for growth.
No, sorry, not to get off topic, but have you seen where these teams? I think it was actually the Chiefs who did it, where they asked the players as they were coming into practice, like, drop your skincare routine. Niners, we need that, please, and make sure you get Salah.
I'm gonna ask. They're gonna be like, "What, Erin?" I'm gonna ask.
Do it, please.
I'm gonna ask.
Do it for all of us.
I'm gonna ask. Girls, I got you. Stay tuned. But that's funny. But Kyle Shanahan said he thought that the offense performed well. He said he thought they performed well, and I do think a lot of it is, one, they're learning the playbook. Two, they're trying different lineups and different, of course, all the different Mac Jones in there getting some reps, Mordecai in there getting some reps, and so of course that could lean into some mistakes as well.
Also, Mac Jones is kind of funny. He has a little bit of humor. Like when he was asked about,
he has a good personality.
He does.
He does have a little vibe
I was
to
like,
him.
wow, I did not see this coming from
Me
you. But he was
either.
asked about his relationship with Shanahan after, because Shanahan, that's technically who he wanted in that draft over Trey Lance. He wanted Mac Jones. Something happened where the fallout, it didn't happen, and so they're asked like, so what's your relationship like now with Shanahan? He's like, we got in a big fight. But he like had a little bit of sense of humor. I was like, oh wow,
he was so right. He did say that. I
Yeah.
actually forgot about that. No, that's so true. He does have a vibe to him.
he does, yeah.
That's so cool. Like I feel like that was totally. It just felt good to be around there. It felt good to be around there. It didn't feel like a 6-11 team.
No, it didn't.
And it also felt like they were excited to get back, which is our next point when it comes to like Christian McCaffrey. All of them, I asked them, you guys had a longer off season than you guys have had in a very long time. And to be honest with you, it's like almost like they were reluctant to admit that they needed it, but they eventually admitted that they needed that time to kind of rejuvenate and recalibrate, especially Christian McCaffrey, which you were there. You heard what he said, and I thought, like you said, I thought it was a very honest moment.
Yeah, and it was just like, he was like, I'm going to be very transparent. Like, none of us, obviously wanted last season to go the way that it did. But after the fact, and when you have that long off season, it's like, oh, you see what it does. He didn't say this word for word, but it's like you see what this does for your body, and like how much he needed it specifically to heal up, to start from scratch. He said he did a lot of rehab over the summer, because his goal was to get to OTAs completely healthy and to be a full participant. And he was the entire OTAs. You'll see like Fred Warner, he was there hyping everyone up, but he wasn't participating. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey, who was a vet, participated the entire, all OTAs, all minicamp, everything.
He did.
And so it was good to see, like, he's healthy and he was moving good. He looked good.
He's now, even mentally, it helped him.
Exactly. But like you and I were talking about when we were watching, let's see, how he looks once it gets physical again. Let's just hope that health can keep up. But speaking of watching minicamp, can I just say, let me just take you inside what it's like a little bit. So
I know where you're going.
I have so much respect for these players after being down there that close to them and watching them practice. But during training camp, after they get pads on, it's a whole another beast. Like, it's intense. And the hits they take, how quick they move. This was just OTA's minicamp. No so pads. I was like, just chill, whatever. As media members, you're standing right behind the players, right behind them.
Yeah.
And they just come to the sideline. Say if they throw a pass to the sideline, they go out of bounds, and you're just there, and it's like they just come straight at you. Erin is so stoic. I don't know how she does it, but this girl does not react. Me, I am like, I panic. I completely panic, and I see them, and so I just jump out of the way, thinking I'm jumping out of the way. Every single time, I jump more into their path, because I swear it's like, I just need to stand there with my eyes closed and just hope for the best at that point, because I think that's a better chance of me not getting my ass taken out, because, woo! But anyways, this time, Erin and I were talking, and they came over. I don't know why I thought, you see how tiny Erin is. I don't know why I thought this girl was going to protect me. I was so close to like jumping in her arms, like juke this way, and then I went back to her and I was like,
I'm so done. No, Whitley definitely be like, hold on, let me move out the way.
I'm like, let me just find something to stand behind. But yeah, I don't know why, but there was a moment I literally about jumped into you.
And look, I would have caught you, or we would have both been on the ground one. They were like, what the hell they over there doing?
I'm just waiting for the moment for me to get taken out.
That is so funny.
Can you just imagine me being stretchered out of the...
So, and look, this is my plan, okay? And I told Whitley, she needs to adopt this plan. These guys catch footballs out of the air that are coming, I don't know how fast, from I don't know what distance. They can catch me. So I told Whitley, if ever I cannot move fast enough to get out of the way, and PSA to y'all, if y'all are listening, I'm going to jump, catch me, and I'll go with you. Just put me down softly, please. When you stop running. So if I jump, my feet are in the air, there is no friction. Go on, take me on down to the fence, wherever. Whenever you lose your momentum, then put me down and we'll be good. Just don't run me over.
I just hope they catch you, because I can just picture you jumping, then taking your feet out and just you like,
I'm done. No, give me a dirty dancing moment before you do that. If I'm rolling, I'm not getting up. Y'all gotta call the paramedics.
Oh yeah, no, I'm being stretchered out. Like, I just think of my back, and I think it's gonna happen at least once, and I could just see it. And mine's gonna be the most hideous. Like, it's just gonna be embarrassing. I'm just gonna get flattened, or I'm gonna jump into their path and get flattened. But then I would feel guilty because I'd be worried that they got hurt. But I guess
no, they ain't hurt.
I for sure will be hurt.
I can tell you that. I'm trying to keep from some cleat marks being in my calves. Like, no. I'm done.
So that's
if you're listening and I jump, catch me, drop me. You know what I'm saying? Just don't run me over, okay? All right. So obviously, Niners were great to see. The way that I don't know that this is any indication of how successful their season will be, but they do have the easiest schedule, and they have one of still, I think, the better teams in the NFL, the better rosters, even though they've lost a lot of pieces in the offseason. I think it's nowhere but up from here, especially from a 6-11 season. I mean, where the hell can you go? Did you get the reference? If y'all fighting at Bella Noche's, where the hell can we and my homegirl go? Or however she said it, but okay, maybe not. Okay.
You know me, I'm really bad at guessing this, so.
If we can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can we go?
Wait, what is this? I know it.
First of all, Pac just pooed it.
See, I'm telling you.
Ah.
It's having
He just pooed it on me. My gosh, Pac, you
Tupac,
stink.
come here. Come
He's
over
okay.
here.
He's okay.
He's having very bad
And
stomach
my baby
issues,
poops
so
all
I'm
the
sorry.
time. I mean, not poops. Did I say poops? No, he pooped. He pooted.
Yeah,
Not pooped.
like a toot.
Yeah, toot. He tooted. Yeah, he tooted. All right, he tooted. Speaking
Yeah.
of tooting, sometimes in sports we like to toot our own horns, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we feel like those horns are silent. And what I mean by that is sometimes we feel like we suffer from imposter syndrome, where we actually don't believe that the people that we are and the abilities that we have are either one shining through or good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Steph Curry had a good example of that
Mm-hmm.
when he spoke about the fact that he sometimes suffers from imposter syndrome.
And just to think someone like Steph Curry, who is just so great at so many things.
The best shooter.
Yeah, the best shooter, all of his business stuff that he has going on, everything. It's it honestly, I love when athletes talk about this kind of stuff because I think it helps so many people to be like, "Oh, so that's not just me. Like this person, also struggles with that." Um but yeah, who would have thought that Steph Curry out of everyone?
And it's crazy. And I'll tell you exactly what he said because I wrote it down. He said one of his many quotes when he was talking about imposter syndrome was, "It's an idea of, are you doing everything you can do to take care of people that are relying on you?" Curry said, "Are you fulfilling your full potential in all different areas that I've set out to do?" How do you feel about that? Do you ever think about that? Like, am I doing all I need to do to support the people that I'm trying to support and to help the people that I'm trying to help? Like, everybody knows you have to find your why. What's your purpose? Why are you doing this thing? Do you ever worry about the fact that maybe you're not doing enough while trying to walk in your purpose, that you are not helping to fulfill your why?
All the time. All the time. Because I think I have so many people, and actually on Festus, we were talking about this with Festus a little bit. Like, who do we do it for? And I'll always say it's my mom because she has just done so much for me. Like, I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for her. Like, she did everything in her power to help me get out of the small town that I grew up in because she saw, so much of like a bigger future for me. And so I think about all the time, like, man, like, am I doing enough to like pay her back? Like, I mean, she's just, but I think about it a lot.
I do the same thing. Same thing for me. Like, my parents afforded me an amazing life. They continue to afford me an amazing life. And if not for them and my sister and my brother, I don't know where I would be today. And for many reasons, I think they all contributed to the person that I am. And my whole point and purpose in this life is to give back to God and to give back to them. And sometimes I feel like, for example, let me show you how much of a maniac I am.
Not a maniac.
I am settling into the thought that I might just be a low grade workaholic.
A low grade workaholic?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not steroids workaholic. But I love what I do and I work hard at it. Okay, so that being said, I used to have this regimen, and I haven't been able to get back on this regimen for a little over a couple of years now. But I would get up every morning. And so for my young journalists that are looking to push yourselves, do this because it absolutely helped me to get to the point that I am today. I just got to get back in it because if I couldn't, they tell you if you spend 10,000 hours at your craft, you will become an expert at that craft. And you want to be a expert at one instead of a jack of all trades. Be the best at one thing instead of trying to be good at everything. And so knowing that, I wanted to spend 10,000 hours on my craft. And in order to start doing that, I had an alarm. I literally went to Walmart and bought one of those like old school alarm clocks. And I set it across my room away from my bed. And it would go off every morning at 4:30. And I had to, no matter what time I went to bed that night, but I used to try to be on myself to go to bed at 9 o'clock. But no matter what, but sometimes, work does not afford us to go to bed at that time. We get off when we get off. And so because of that, I specifically set my alarm clock away from my bed across the room where there was no way for it to go off unless I got up out of the bed to cut it off. And at that point, it was like me versus me. Like, are you that lazy? You gonna get up? You gonna get up on your feet, go cut your alarm clock off, and then go back and get in the bed? No. So I would get up, cut the alarm clock off, say my prayers, thank the Lord for waking me up that morning, and it was time to get to my day. So for the first 30 minutes, I would tend to my baby, Kobe, take him out. I would give him some water. I wouldn't feed him just yet. But then once 5 o'clock hit, it was time to start on my schedule. So from 5 to 6, I read affirmations to myself. I wrote out all these poster boards. I had poster boards all over my walls. I had sticky notes all over my mirror, and I would read what I wanted to be. So I basically had this board, and I remember I still have it. It would say, I am the next Maria Taylor. I am a wife. I am a child of God. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am the next Maria Taylor. I am the next Taylor Rooks. I am the next journalist. I am the next big thing. I am working for this person. I am working for that person. I am working for myself. I do have these things. And I would read them over and over and over again. And I would go through each poster board for an hour. And in that, one poster board was affirmations. One poster board was actually like a motivational speech that I actually wrote down and I would read to myself every day. And then one of them were Bible verses that I would read to myself every day. And all of those for that first hour is how I would like get my mind motivated and ready to go. And then that's once 6 o'clock hit, it was time to sit down and read all that I could read about sports news. No matter where it was from, the top sports headlines, I needed to read them. So for an hour, I sat down and read those. And then for the third hour, I would do Bible study. And so I sat down and did Bible study for that third hour. And then my fourth hour was prayer and meditation. And so for 4 hours every morning, 4 hours and 30 minutes every morning, I spent before the sun came up focusing solely on getting better as a person, as a woman, as a child of God, and as a professional. And I definitely think it helped me to center because when you actually tap into learning how to meditate, it takes you different places. And you learn stuff about yourself. And you learn stuff, in my opinion, about what Christ is asking you to do and where he's trying to take you. And so if you want to center yourself, do that. But
have you ever tried mindfulness, like mindful meditation? I know Steph actually has talked about this before, and he does.
I feel like that was mixed because, like I
said, it makes you, it forces
hour.
you to like, and it's not about pushing out the thought. You know, like sometimes people think meditation is to completely clear out thoughts. It's not. It's about letting those thoughts come in, feel it, think about it, and then letting it go. Like to like center yourself and be present.
Yeah, exactly. I would even. And my ex actually taught me this, so he was good for something. Shots fired.
Hey, you know what? A win is a win. You got something on it.
Yeah, a hit dog or holler. If you out there hollering, you know who you are. So I would sit, and you are supposed to like focus on a vision. So I would focus on like where I wanted to be or what I wanted to be doing. Try to smell the room. What does it smell like?
Yeah, your senses. You use
what
your
does
senses.
It feel like?
That's
what
mindfulness.
Are you saying? What does it sound like? Yep.
That's mindfulness.
And I would literally, now not often because it's a really hard thing to do, but I would literally be able to focus and put myself almost literally in that place in my mind, and I could feel it. I could hear the AC running. I could see what color the floors were and what clothes I had on, because, you know, we're going to have that outfit, right? But I would do that.
Yeah.
And so I say all that to say, even though I had that crazy regimen, there are still days where I'm doing my job and maybe I feel like I'm doing a great job in the moment. And then I'll get home and say, why did you say that? That was so stupid. Why did you ask that question? That was so dumb. Girl, why did you wear that outfit? You like a freaking clown.
We're our own worst, we're our own worst critics. Always.
And so I think to hear someone like Steph Curry say that he struggles from imposter syndrome really makes it real and almost makes it relative. It does make it relative that everyone has that. I've even had some of my friends, Sudu Padea is one of my good friends, who mentioned, you know, Erin, you got to stop struggling with this imposter syndrome. I say all that to say, like, I've struggled with that. Like, and TV can be harsh.
Yeah.
TV can be harsh. You got thousands of people watching you every night. I've had people write into the newsroom, and don't get me wrong, the good stuff doesn't get lost in there. I almost try to always respond to people who send in nice messages. But I've had people email the newsroom, why do y'all have all these people with plastic hair talking about weave?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not lying. Like,
Are you kidding me?
No, people have written into the newsroom to say that. Like,
You have the best hair. Like, your hair always looks incredible.
thank you. You know, we get to them vendors when we can. I'm done. But yeah, I've had that happen.
Oh
I've
my
had people.
God. I'm so sorry. Like, I mean,
It's the
Yeah,
world.
but
We live in a dirty, dirty world.
we really do. People are the worst. I mean, there are good people out there, but the ones that are sending in stuff like that,
Somewhere
the things. No,
somewhere in the basement, sad and miserable.
Yeah,
to the point that They
exactly.
just got to share that miserability.
Yeah.
Is that a word? I just made it one.
I think
So
it is.
either miserability.
I support it.
Yeah, period. If she stamped it, then we
Yep.
stamped it. But yeah, it happens. And so, quick story. I actually told this on Festus Feast today. So I think we gave him all our podcast content.
I know. We kept saying, we're like, we're going to mention this on the pod, but.
Yeah, but since we're here,
Yeah.
there was a time, actually my first season covering the Niners where I was with Fred Warner, and I was in a scrum, and it was a bunch of cameras around, and I was the only black person in this scrum. Scrum is what y'all see when y'all see a bunch of mics in people's faces, like when they're sitting in their locker, and you see just a bunch of mics in their faces. People are holding those mics in a scrum. And we're way into each other's personal space, way more than we should be. But that being said, we were in a scrum, and I was the only black person, and I was the only woman. Actually, no, there was one other woman there that day. But, you know, you already feel kind of like a loner in that sense. You know what I'm saying? And so I asked Fred Warner, ladies, listen to me. Don't ask this question like this. So I was talking about Deommodore Lenoir, who is a defensive back, right? He's a cornerback, but he's a DB. And I was asking Fred Warner, you know, Deommodore said he's never been in a DB's, he's never been in a backs room like the one he's in now, and he really feels like that it's a really good thing they have going in there. What is your take? Something like that I asked. But food for thought. When you're asking about the DBs, you say defensive backs or the DBs. Don't say backs room. If you're talking about backs, you're talking about running backs, even though everybody is a back of some kind. On the defense, at least, you got the linebacker, the defensive backs, the cornerback, the, you know, whatever. But backs are running backs. And I said backs room. And he said, wait, what room? Literally drenched. I was drenched in sweat in 0.25 seconds. Like, I started sweating. I looked at him, and I was just like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Just answer the question. Just answer the question. Just answer the question. And he looked at me. He was like, I'm waiting on you to tell me what room. And I didn't know what to say. And thankfully, one of the photogs in the area, Abe, good looking out, he jumped in, and he was like, because I was scared to repeat myself, imposter syndrome, because I didn't know that I knew what I was talking about in that moment, because I was like, wait, Deommodore Lenoir is a defensive back. Why does he not know, like, context clues? Come on now. But at the same time, I didn't even want to repeat Deommodore Lenoir, because I was like, dang, is that his name? You know what I'm saying? And so when I said that, everybody kind of looked at me, and nobody really jumped in except for Abe. And Abe was like, linebackers, because he knew I was nervous in that moment and I didn't know what to say. And when he jumped in and said linebackers, then Fred Warner went ahead and answered the question. Now, of course, Fred Warner is a linebacker, which is why Abe said linebacker, because I don't think he heard my question fully, because usually other reporters are not paying attention to your question. They're paying attention to what the player is going to say. And so Fred answered the question about the linebackers, but my question was about the defensive backs. And in that moment, I felt so embarrassed, and I went running, crying, calling my daddy, like, oh my gosh, Dad, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. I said the backs, and they're the DBs, and I was talking about the secondary. And I literally went around the entire media room explaining myself to every reporter as if I needed to do that. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do that. They knew I didn't know in that moment, but they also knew what I meant in that moment. But I was so embarrassed, and I felt so insecure about it that I needed to go over explain. And don't do that. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, you make that mistake, and then you push through. So it's a short story there. But quick story. The other day I was talking to the running backs coach, and I asked about Christian McCaffrey, and he said, who? And totally different response, because I've grown in my confidence when it comes to being in these situations. I was like, what'd I say? I said, ain't his McCaffrey? Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. And everybody laughed. Actually, they giggled a little bit and was like, oh, I ain't hear what you said. I just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
And so I had much more confidence to repeat myself that time. So, yeah, that's my imposter syndrome story.
I've had several, but just like even you talking about this, sometimes you don't realize even on a daily basis how much I deal with this. Even like with coworkers and stuff. Like say if I say something, they're like, who or huh? And I said it right, but they just didn't hear me. But in my head, as a woman, I'm like, did I not say that exactly right?
Yep.
Like, and you just like second guess yourself all the time, even though we know our shit. We know our shit.
Yep.
Like when we do our work, we study, we do everything we need to do, but there's still just always in the back of your head. But one experience with me would be when I was having my one-on-one with Draymond a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like just doing like also some fun questions and whatnot. And it was like something like, who is like the best non-basketball player that you've ever seen play? Like, you know, lots of times you'll hear like J. Cole or like rappers or someone. And typically like that's the kind of responses I would get. He just named someone that I had never heard of in my entire life. And you know, Draymond, he just said it straight face and he was just staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay. I panicked in that moment because in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is probably an athlete that maybe I haven't heard of and I should know. And I was just like panicking. And after the interview, my coworker, shout out Lucas, he was in there. And I was like, did you know who that was? And Lucas was like, no, I had no idea. I'm like, oh, so it wasn't just me. And Lucas is the one that called out. He was like, Whitley, imposter syndrome. Like, you know, like you're in your own head. Like,
and shout out to the guys that they see us.
Yeah.
Like how Lucas saw
Exactly.
you and how Sudu saw me.
Yeah.
So shout out to them because they are an integral part in us growing this business.
For sure.
Too.
Yeah, and having that support and, you know. But I like panicked and I have to find that clip because I know it was so awkward. I was like, oh, and then I just like immediately like went to the next thing and J-Ron was just like staring at me.
I know what
like,
you mean.
Yeah.
You literally I started shaking.
Yeah, no, I started sweating a little bit. And there's like that sense of embarrassment that I can't describe it, but it just takes over your entire body. And then coming to find out, and Lucas, no one knew. Like that was just probably Draymond's friend from high school.
Literally.
And I should have asked a follow up, but I was so scared of my imposter syndrome. Or like that I was like, I'm not going to ask because what if it's someone I'm supposed to know? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I could have got a good as a reporter, I could have got a good backstory behind that if I would have done the follow up.
Yep. Get out of your head.
But imposter syndrome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we learn as we go. And now you know. You know what I'm saying? But now I don't even try to fake like I don't know. I mean, like I know. If I don't know, I'm going to be like, huh? You said what?
I don't have the time or energy anymore.
Yeah, I don't have because honestly, the best moments come out of authenticity.
That's true.
And when you act, okay. First of all, everybody loves to try to put somebody on. You get what I'm saying? So if you're talking, especially to these players, and they say something that you don't know, you be like, "What's that?" They be ready to explain it to you, like, "Oh, this is cute. All right, yeah, we can be cute today." Don't call me cute when I'm out here roasting you because you out here, you know, not playing well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can be cute today. Yeah, I don't know. So tell me this. Like, explain this to me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a good thing. I think when you are authentic about the fact that you don't know everything, you get better. You learn more.
And now that I think back to that interaction, there's no doubt in my mind that Draymond did that intentionally because like not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think Draymond was wanting me to ask like the follow up because Draymond's kind of like a Fred Warner. Like
does.
And it's not that he's like trying to help us get better, but he'll like, you know.
I think he does.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's a lot of guys in this business that we work with here in the Bay that I feel like are really good people, but they're athletes.
Yeah.
And you just don't know if that's a line that you can cross or if that's a conversation you need to lengthen. But a lot of them are willing to have conversation, and you just got to be willing to have it with them. But they're not going to force it if you don't.
But yeah, but any other player in that situation would most likely be like, oh, my former high school, you know, teammate, or like explain. But Draymond just straight up said this guy's name, like no name I've ever heard of. So I think he was like, let's see if she's going to say anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my imposter syndrome completely just folded.
So Draymond, if you're listening, I want to know more about.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
guy.
Yes.
You have to find the clip to find.
I can't. I blacked out because I got so scared. I can't remember the name, but I'm gonna find it.
I'm so done. Speaking of finding, before we get to these tattoos,
no, we have those tattoos.
do we got some hits this week, Whit?
Oh wait, I do.
Do we have some green?
I've actually been
bean
hitting kind of
casserole?
regularly. I'm not gonna lie, or like once a week.
Well, it's slow season now, so ain't nothing going on with the finals for real in hockey. Are you watching the hockey finals?
A little bit.
Mm-mm.
Someone I know has been betting on it.
I haven't seen it.
But okay, where are my
I mean, I've been
wins?
keeping up with the results, but I haven't watched it.
So I was a little angry though. This was a couple days ago because I accidentally put only $5 in, and so I won $50. But if I would have done my typical like $10, this would have been $100. I would have won. But I hit. When I win, I win. I will say that. Like I'm not
Right.
waiting all game to hit. Typically, it just happens. Like
Yeah.
even sometimes like third quarter, I'll hit.
Uh-huh.
But let's see. Yeah, I had Chet. That's the game he went off over 14.5 points. And then Jalen Williams, there was like a little discount thing they gave you, so he only needed like 0.5 points on here to go over.
I see some green lines.
All green. All green beans.
Is that green bean casserole? Okay, not
I
quite
mean,
casserole.
probably was when
But
I
a
went.
big pot of
It
green
should be
beans.
because it should be $100 that I won. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, so Siakam, he needed a block shot, got it. Halliburton, I had him over 17.5 points, got to 22, and we hit.
Hit.
That was my hit of the week.
One thing about it, we're gonna find a way to make some money. We're just
Money.
not selling feet pics.
Oh.
Yet.
Hey, I'm telling you. Wait,
Yet.
let me just say, I have done some research. And now that I know how much some of y'all are making selling feet pictures, I'm not.
If y'all want to see the rest
I'm
of these
thinking about
cropped
it.
photos, go on send a cash app, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Let me know how much you're gonna pay me, and I will have my
I'll
toes
be
out
her-
on this
I'll be her
podcast.
personal feet photographer. We'll split the funds.
No, but I mean it's ridiculous. I'm
Yeah.
like, shoot.
No, people have foot fetish out here.
No, yeah. I mean everywhere. I think,
Yeah.
but
People like feet. I
apparently.
don't know why, but people like feet.
But I mean,
All right. Speaking of body parts,
what a transition that was.
I'm done.
Speaking of toes.
Speaking of toes, let's talk about some tattoos.
Mm,
You want to go first?
sure.
How many tattoos do you have,
So scared.
and where are they located? Let's start there.
I have. So sorry, Mom. I love you so much. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Look at us. That's 8.
Oh my gosh, it is. That's
Yes.
crazy.
I have 4
Wait,
too.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4. The first one, which is the story I will give you, is located on my right butt cheek.
She cheeked up.
Yes. Most random tattoo ever. Got it underage. There's just the whole story behind it. And then the other one's like a hip, rib. I guess that's a rib. And then another rib like going down. This one's like my most special one because it's like 4 hearts, and my mom, sister, niece, and nephew all drew them, and I got them tattooed on me. And it's so cute because my nephew's like, it's messed up because of course
He
the boy
messed-
out of the group, he's not,
Yeah.
precise.
Yeah. But that's so cute.
So it's messed up, but I like was gonna have him redo it. I'm like, no, I kind of like it. Gives it character.
He
So
does.
it's like, yeah,
I love that.
yeah. But
We're almost in the same spots too, except I don't have anything on my butt. I got hip, rib. What is this? Is this your forearm? No, this is your
underarm.
well, not my armpit, but yeah, underarm. My underarm and my shoulder.
Oh, okay.
And all of mine are special. For many reasons. All of my all of my tattoos are matching tattoos. However, I'm not matching it with no man, so
Yeah.
don't do that.
My butt cheek tat is a.
A matching tattoo?
Mhm.
Is it with a man?
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay, perfect. So the one on my shoulder is a moon.
Mm-hmm.
My sister has a sun.
Aw.
Like it's like you can't have one without the other, but they're both total opposites.
Mm-hmm.
The one on my hip is a quote in Arabic, which I had my coworker read, who reads Arabic, and apparently it doesn't say what I thought it said. But it says close enough, so I'm okay. But we went to Google Translate, and maybe that's not what you want to do when you're trying to get a tattoo. But it's a Bible verse that me and one of my friends has that says she loves her as herself. And it is about the story of Mephibosheth and David, who actually was a part of. Please don't let me be saying his name wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was who. He was Saul's son, King Saul, who tried to kill King David. He was Saul's son, and he helped David to safety because of their friendship. So he basically helped him against his father.
Oh, okay.
And so he loved him as himself. And so that is what that is. She loved her as herself. The one under my arm, under my underarm, was a matching tattoo with my cousin. She got hers covered up. Literally a month later. Yeah.
Why? Like,
She got mad, girl. She got mad because I got to a party before she got to a party. That was crazy. It was ridiculous. Like, it's the wildest thing. I was like, girl, you wasted my time.
I thought you were gonna say she just had regrets about getting a tattoo or something.
No. She went and covered it up. I'm like, girl, why would you do that? Like, it was the craziest situation too. It was like, it was stupid. But under her cover up, it's still there. So I guess we are still somewhat matching. And then the one on my rib cage is a compass, and it was supposed to be like an inch big, and it takes up my entire side. And it was my actual first tattoo, which was crazy. Like, that I got this huge tattoo because
You said it was supposed to be an inch. Like, was there a communication loss between you and the tattoo artist?
So I printed out a picture, and because it was so detailed, I will say this: none of my tattoo artists messed up my tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that even though I did these impulsively, my tattoo artist did a good job. And the compass was so detailed that he was like, yeah, I can do that. And then by the time the 2 hours was done and he finished the tattoo, he was like, I couldn't do the size that you wanted. So this is what we got.
Oh,
like,
shoot.
my whole rib is full with a big compass. But the compass is literally my favorite tattoo still, outside of the one with my sister. Me and my sister tattoo is probably actually my favorite.
Yeah.
But outside of that one, the compass is my favorite. And the reason why I got a compass is because that was my freshman year in college. And actually, yeah, this was my first tattoo. I believe it was my first tattoo. And what ended up happening was I knew where I wanted to go in life, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I put this compass on my rib, and it was going to guide me. I was manifesting this compass guiding me to where it was that I was trying to go. Because I didn't know how I wanted to get there, but I knew what I wanted my final destination to be, career-wise. And funny enough, I'm living in that dream now. And, I mean, it could not be more I'm following blindly a compass. You know what I'm saying? Except my compass is Christ. But it could not be more that, because I literally got to where I am in the most unorthodox way you can get here. And so it worked out.
Yeah.
So that's how I got that tattoo. My first tattoo under my arm, the second tattoo under my armpit, I got matching with my cousin, but it was impulsive because I was heartbroken over a guy.
I feel like that tends to happen. Like, when I've got my tattoos, a lot of times that's when I've gone through some things. But the matching tattoo on my butt cheek, let's just say that was a whole thing. My mom's just going to die when I tell the story. Okay, so I was underage, for one. My mom definitely didn't sign for me because she hated tattoos. Yeah, and the butt tattoo, I was 16? Was I 17? I think I was 16. And this girl at the time, we were friends, but ultimately we just weren't really friends, but we ended up getting it. Yeah. Regretted it immediately. But it was like during softball season, I want to say. But then also I'm like, where can I get a tattoo where my mom won't see it? Butt cheek, like, obviously, right? So we just get random matching star tattoos. Like,
my mom would have saw it on my butt.
Yeah, well, just wait.
My mama analyzed my whole body.
No, just wait. I don't know why I thought that she wouldn't see it. So it's just an ugly tattoo. It's not even cute. It's just a star. Like, that's it. And it's gotten deformed over the years, apparently, from, like, I don't know if it's from hitting squats or what. My butt's just, like, grown. I swear. Like, I looked at it the other day, and I'm like, what is that? Like, you can't tell sometimes it's a star. Besides the point. So got it when I was underage. We had some random guy sign for me, and somehow this tattoo artist, like, fell for it, or he just didn't care, and he did it.
Yeah.
And I remember it was during softball season, and I slid into home plate, and you know how it scabs over at first? completely ripped the scab off, and my butt was just like bleeding. And so I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Told someone, but I still didn't tell my mom. Like, there's no way I'm gonna tell my mom. Not even like a month later, probably. I haven't had this thing a month. And I'm upstairs and I realize I don't have a towel. Like, I'm in the upstairs bathroom. And so I yelled down, Mom, can you bring me a towel? And I'm getting in the shower. She walks in and I just like hear her like drop the towels. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? And I look back and she's just like, her face is just like white as a ghost. And she's like, tell me that's fake.
I'm done.
Like, it was like, oh my, I've never seen so much disappointment in my mom's face in my entire life. Like, she was so disappointed. Yeah, so that's how
Tell
she
me
found out
that's
about.
fake Whitley.
And I really wanted to be like, it's a Sharpie. But yeah, no, I felt, yeah, I've never seen so much disappointment in her face in my entire.
Yeah, my mom and daddy would have tore the skin off of mine.
She called every tattoo shop like in town. Like, she was ready to sue. She's to this day she never found out.
Mama wasn't playing.
Mm-mm.
I don't blame you.
Oh, she was livid.
You gotta love a mama that's gonna do her due diligence.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. But
yeah, I actually waited until I got to college to get. Literally, I got like all my tattoos within like a couple of years. I was like, I'm in college now. I'm gonna do what I want with my body. My body, my choice. Like, cause my mom and daddy were so against tattoos that I had to wait until I was grown, where they couldn't really say nothing. Thank God I had good discernment on at least making them cute. But that brings me to my next question, because like, do your tattoos ever like get in the way of our job for you?
no, because I got them in locations where like you can't really see them unless I'm in like a bikini or somewhere, which I'm not gonna wear a bikini here.
If I'm in a bikini, you can literally see every tattoo.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But the only one that I have to ever cover up is the one on my shoulder, because it's on the front round part of my shoulder, like my rotator cuff. I think that's a rotator cuff, whatever. But I just cover it up with makeup. But I love how it looks on my shoulder.
I love your looks so good.
But
honestly, now though, I feel like it's not as like back in the day. I feel like it used to be a bigger deal, like people having tattoos.
Reporters with them all the time.
Yeah. So now I don't think it's the same as it used to be, or looked at the same.
It's not. It's not. Although when I did get signed to my modeling agency, it was a problem.
Yeah.
Like trying to book campaigns was hard. And I mean, literally, I've auditioned for Tide commercials. I've auditioned for movies.
Really?
Yes. I've auditioned for a lot of stuff. I didn't get them. But I did have like some pretty big auditions.
Oh, dang.
And my tattoos were problematic in some of those situations.
And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know you had tattoos until we went on vacation, basically.
So they all can be hidden except for the
yeah,
one
I was
on my
like,
shoulder.
I don't know what you're using to hide your tattoos, but
Your girl, just foundation, my face foundation.
really, is that like anything special?
But that's why I be tearing my clothes up, because I get makeup on my clothes so easy.
Mine just because I'm white and pasty and I use self tanner and it just gets everywhere.
But the good thing about it is, from what I know, if you use a certain concealer, it is easier to hide your tattoos on lighter skin than it is on darker skin.
Really?
You have to you have to go back and do the research on which concealer, but I know you have to use red concealer on darker skin to hide tattoos. I can't remember which one it is on lighter skin, but
Oh, I did not know that.
yeah, it's a thing. But I mean, we do good. We did a good job with picking our tattoos. But I'm not getting another one. I'm done. I love my tattoos, and I'm not getting no.
You want to get Erin and Whit tatted on you?
I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we should do.
I don't know. I kind of like our font and stuff.
Matching Erin and Whit. Maybe that'll be my first butt cheek tattoo.
I'll get one on the other butt cheek.
I'm done. I'm so done. That would actually be hilarious. I don't know. Maybe they might break me out of my tattoo retirement. Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we have Sunday, we want to wrap up the show. We don't want to keep you guys too long. We promised y'all the tattoo story, so we had to give it to y'all. But we have to give the Valkyries kudos. They demolished the Las Vegas Aces, which was
even
a
close.
Special game. It was not close. And to have Asia Wilson on the other side of that game, and to have Becky Hammond so upset about the way they lost, she was saying it was a lack of effort on their side. And one thing that the Valkyries emphasized was effort and energy. And they came with every bit of that, and physicality. And they came with every bit of that. Natalie Nakase is doing a great job.
She is. She's doing a great job. I mean, when you think about them being an expansion team and even getting the wins that they've gotten, but especially that win over the Aces, I just think it's such an incredible moment for this, new franchise.
Agreed.
She's doing Nakasa. She's doing an incredible job.
She's doing a great job. So shout out Valkyries. Y'all keep killing them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to kill this cast.
And Caitlin Clark, she's gonna be here next week. You're leaving town though Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be out of town. I'm going to miss Caitlin.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back for Angel Reese.
When are they gonna be
I
here?
don't know. I'm just talking. I got to look at the schedule.
I've been like marking the games on my calendar, and I'm
yeah, all I'm thinking about this summer is vacation. But I do love the Valkyries. I just haven't been able to get out there to many games because a lot of them have been on the roads, and then a lot of
also on the weekend, and so
yes, on days that we are naturally off. So.
Well, now this is my off season technically, so this is the time of year I do try to have actual weekends where I do get a Saturday, Sunday. And a lot of their games have been on Saturdays or Sundays. Yeah,
and I mean, I can't take games from other reporters if they work naturally on Saturdays. So
yeah.
But Valkyries, y'all see me at practice. I'll be out there, checking y'all out and getting y'all stories out there, and y'all will see me again. Good job, good luck, keep doing it. We'll be talking about 2 championships here in a little bit. Hopefully, the Warriors need to get somebody in, but we'll do it. We'll get it done.
I believe.
Cheers to us. Imaginary wine glasses. That is
We've had a day.
8. We have had a day.
Yes,
we are tired.
a great day.
And we have come and brought y'all this episode. And so, Festus, make good on your promise. We'll
see you
soon.
Very soon.
Yes, with many other guests. So stay tuned for that because they're coming. All right, guys. Talk soon.
Peace sign every time.